Have you heard the screenplay term Chekhov's gun? If you haven't, Google it because that's this movie in a nutshell. This film has a heavy subject matter. I wouldn't necessarily get into it. You have to go and see it, but it's heavy, so be prepared. This film is in the same universe as The Father and also The Mother. Now, side note, The Mother is still in Broadway theaters right now and people seem to love it, so they haven't quite made a film about it just yet, but I just want you to know that it's in the same universe as those two films. Well, one is already a film, which is The Father, and now this is about the film The Son. The Son is Florian Zeller's new adaptation to the silver screen, and I feel like someone should really look into this guy's family. Every single one of his adaptations around this family universe is very sad. So let's keep an eye on it. This film stars Hugh Jackman and Vanessa Kirby as a couple, Peter and Beth. They have a little infant, a couple of months old or so. However, prior to knowing Peter, Hugh Jackman was married to Kate, which is Laura Dern, and they had a son named Nicholas. You can already sort of feel the age difference between the women. Someone left someone for someone younger. You guessed it. So one day, his ex-wife knocks on the door saying that our kid is acting up and hasn't apparently been turning up to school for weeks, maybe even months, and feels a little neglected from you being Hugh Jackman, and can you please reach out and talk to him about it and maybe straighten him out. Peter reaches out to his son, Nicholas, who says he doesn't want to live with his mother anymore because they keep butting heads and wants to move in with his dad, Peter. The boy, however, is physically and mentally full of resentment of his father, Peter, and possibly also doesn't want to exist anymore. So the father agrees to have the boy move in with him and his young wife and his couple of months old baby. Within the week, the boy was on his way out to school. He speaks to Beth and asks, did she know that the father was married to his mom before she engaged with him? And did she also know that he had a son? She was shocked and she was a little bit worried, and she said, ask your father, because, you know, this question blindsided her. So some weeks go by, he agreed to go back to school, and things were looking pretty good. Till Beth finds a knife underneath the boy's pillow as she was cleaning his room. So Peter confronts Nicholas, asking him, why do you have a knife underneath your pillow? Nicholas suggests that he has a knife underneath his pillow because he is going to use it for protection. And obviously his father's wondering, we live in a penthouse in New York. Why would you have a knife for protection? Within a couple of probes, the son finally admits that he has a knife in there as he uses it to cut himself, and his father was shocked. He says he cuts himself because it helps him feel relief from his sadness. So Peter and Kate are worried that their kid might be suicidal, so they sent him off to a rehab as most good parents would. However, they feel a little bit guilty for sending him off to rehab because they think maybe it's a problem they could have solved if they weren't neglectful to him. They're not sure if they're neglectful, they just feel a tremendous amount of guilt. So for the rest of the story, you should go watch this film. This film feels like a beautiful boy mixed with perks of being a wallflower and intertwined with the pacing of the previous movie, The Father. The best part about this film is the understated tension of what may happen or what may not happen at the end of this film. Also, Hugh Jackman being brilliant at drama. The cinematography is steady and smooth, which is something I personally always like. I think the worst thing about this film is Zen McGrath playing the son. He's not quite a strong actor just yet. He looks like he's acting. It's not bad, it's not great, it's just okay. Sometimes, just because I feel like he's acting kind of annoys the shit out of me, but I think, let's say if Timothée Chalamet played this character, it would be a whole different ball game. But, you know, let's give this boy a break. I just think he's probably the worst part about this movie. I hope he doesn't watch this review because I don't want to break people's hearts. Can you watch this film while playing your mobile phone? Absolutely not. You gotta be ready for this one. You gotta commit. This film is heavy. You can't passively watch it. Should you watch this film? Well, it depends. The question is, do you want to feel depressed? Because this film has got a very heavy subject matter, and if you want to feel depressed, then it's the film for you. But if you don't want to, I would not recommend you watch this film.